Welcome to Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast. This is an actual play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Royalty-free music provided by Kevin MacLeod, Plate Mail Games, and Tabletop Audio. And now, to adventure. Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Buckner. I'm the primary Dungeon Master for Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast. We were hoping to play in person this week, but life threw us another curveball, so this will be another Zoom session. I've been sick, and my mom and stepdad are sick, and they're our babysitters, and Kate has a touch of it, so we have the baby. You may hear the baby on Kate's audio a little bit over the course of the evening, but we're adapting as long as we can still do our podcast. So as our adventure begins, it is stardate 0326.82. A week ago, a bounty hunter in red armor tried to kidnap Matisse. The bounty hunter failed, but managed to escape. Arvine then took the party on a tour of some of the seedier dive bars on the rock known for, to be frequented by criminals, trying to find information about the bounty hunter. She overheard a group of men discussing a person in red armor who had been offering 100 gold pieces to anyone that knew the location of a tall, blue-skinned woman on the rock. That is the extent of the information that she found. The party visited Zima's magical emporium, and Strax asked Zima to try and find a magical recipe for a +1 weapon. The party has returned, and Zima says she has a magical liquid that, if poured onto a weapon, will make it into a +1 weapon. She is asking 1,200 gold pieces for the potion. So, adventurers, how do you respond?
I could certainly contribute some monies to that.
So what? You just pour it on and it poof?
Zima says, yes, pour on, poof.
Kind of cheating, isn't it?
How much is she offering? Enough for just one weapon?
Just one. Just one dose for one weapon for 1,200 gold.
That seems like a really steep price, but I would be willing to pay it.
I guess it would handle our current problem, but
It would give Strax back his infusion. Which is what John's thinking.
Recipe,
She says, yes, I keep looking.
all right, well, in that case,
How much do I have? I really don't have that much.
I mean, who was the one that really needs it there? Just you need it, right, Arvine, just for that other weapon of yours?
Matisse had expressed an interest in it as well for the pistol that he has. She has.
Pistol.
Yeah.
I don't have 1,200 gold, so
Matisse wanted it for her laser pistol, and I'd love to have a second magic laser sword since I use 2 swords, but
Matisse wanted it for a black powder pistol. And I looked at all your inventory, so I know you guys have well above 1,200 among the entire party.
right.
Yeah, but
I'm more than
why
willing
would
to
I
chip into
pay
it.
for somebody else's weapon? That's their problem.
Janie will chip in both hers and Strax's share because he's an asshole.
leave it to Strax to be so short-sighted in the face of our situation. It's not always about Strax.
No crossroads
Good to
tickets
me.
for you.
Okay, so
I can pitch in a little bit. I don't have that much, but I can probably pitch in like 200 or something like that.
Well, I have at least almost 900 gold, so that's a good starting place.
So 2 from Strax, and then however much from Matisse, and then you're about 100, 1 or 200 gold pieces short. But Janie said she would pitch in, so
I could possibly pitch in 100 if it's going towards Matisse or something. If it was going towards me, I'd probably pitch in even more. But I think Matisse needs a more effective ranged weapon, given we're fighting something that flies.
Well, Matisse has currently got the repeating my little modifications on it. So
Okay.
The infusion.
yeah. So that could probably carry her for a little while.
Well, then, Arvine, if you need it, then we can make that happen for you instead.
I mean, it's up to you.
I'm perfectly happy using Strax's infusion, which he has graciously offered to me. So,
I mean, another thing that we could do is if you can wield a laser rifle, Arvine has the laser rifle. She's had one since the beginning, and she almost never uses it right now. So if you wanted a ranged weapon with more range, as long as you can use it, she would give it to you, and then you could put the infusion on it, do whatever you want.
can I wield that weapon? It's not a finesse weapon, but neither is a black powder pistol, so...
Correct.
I think you can wield any martial weapon, which I think that is, but you should check.
Yeah, I think paladins can use any sort of martial weapons.
Okay. So we have a few options. So I think what I would probably do is what Arvine suggested, and I would put it on her laser pistol.
All right. Well, I can move it over. Take me a little bit of work.
Laser rifle, Greg.
Rifle.
Laser rifle. Make sure you put that in your inventory. You'll have to change your custom attack.
So hold on a second there, Greg. If you're using a laser rifle and you have a shield, that's going to create a whole problem with you having to use a two-handed weapon and having to stow the shield. Didn't
think about that.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So yeah, you should just keep using the infusion on your thing. So as long as Strax is okay with that, then yes, I'd love to buy that potion for my second laser sword.
I didn't infuse this thing.
I could pitch in 700 if I basically clean out most of my cash.
I will give you 300 from my stores.
Okay.
And with my 200, that's 1,200.
I have like tons of gold, you guys. So like I could pitch in like half.
Oh, surprised you're not having to spend more on components.
I don't have a lot of component spells.
Okay. So I'll I will pitch in 600 plus Janie's, and then nobody else has to pitch in something that's not towards a weapon that would benefit them, I guess, unless you guys want to haggle that out differently.
Hey, if you guys want to cover it
evenly, it'd be 300 a person.
Which that probably would be better. I could do that.
All right, 300 a person. Roger.
Oh, now suddenly I'm on the hook for 300. Jeez.
Well, I can
Drax,
do 4.
Do you want me to pay your 300?
I don't need you to pay my debts, girl.
Oh.
Did you just call me girl?
Your older sister.
I'm gonna beat your ass, boy.
Okay.
So you guys bought the potion. Okay, so excuse me, stupid cold. So you've got that, and next page of my adventure here. Okay,
page.
Later that day, Quartermaster Olo visits you all at the Hammered Unicorn Forge. He has a little difficulty getting his large turtle shell through the door, after which he tells you he has a mission from one of your contacts. According to Olo, there is a terraforming colony of humans on a planetoid, or exomoon, designated LV-426. A supply ship sent to LV-426 from the rock never returned. Wayland Industries is offering 5,000 gold pieces for a ship to investigate the colony. Captain Braun had established a good relationship with Wayland Industries, and they have offered the Star Runner the mission before anyone else. So Olo says, well, What do you think, captains?
Well, you'll have to talk to Arvine. She's the one in charge, but it sounds to me like we could probably find something useful on a derelict supply ship.
I think I'd be
I'm in.
on board with that.
Okay. So,
Get whatever supplies we need, I guess, and I'll head out in the morning.
okay. So, Quartermaster Ola makes sure that the Star Runner is stocked, and you all board the Star Runner, and Hal navigates the ship away from the rock and heads toward LV-426. After an uneventful week of travel, the Star Runner arrives at LV-426. You see the exomoon is covered by a thick cloud layer created by its atmosphere processors manufactured by Wayland Industries. Your contact gave you a small device, a homing beacon, that you use to locate the colony. Hal pilots the Star Runner to a position in the lower atmosphere relative to the colony's signal. The Star Runner moves to a quarter mile above the surface in a heavy rain. So the Star Runner is currently holding position there. How would you like to proceed?
A quarter mile out from the colony.
Yeah, it's still pretty. The cloud cover is pretty heavy, and there's a lot of rain, so the visibility is poor.
What's the landscape?
You're not really sure. It's
see the landscape.
No. I mean, it's an exomoon. You think maybe that it's sort of like almost like an asteroid. It's probably what you would guess the surface would be like.
All right, so personal atmospheres and hoofing it.
Well, I mean, there is the atmosphere processors have been set up and they're working, so that's what the cloud cover is, and there is an environment around the exomoon.
Oh, okay. For some reason, okay, that was my brain part.
It's okay. I mean, take the personal atmospheres anyway, just in case. You never know.
Yeah, definitely.
But basically, the Hal is just kind of hanging the ship there, about a quarter mile up, and is waiting to find out how you all want to proceed.
Okay.
Well, since we don't know what happened, probably would be best to keep the Star Runner out here and head in on foot, since obviously whatever's over there is destroying ships. We don't want that to happen.
So how are you approaching the exomoon surface?
We could use a star coach. I mean, we can't. Can we use a lifeboat for something like that, or only if we have water to land in? Right.
The lifeboats, yeah. I mean, but even the sky coach. I mean, everything that you have there doesn't land on land. But the sky coach can basically hover down there to be like a foot above the surface, and you can just take the little ladder on the side.
What if we do the sky coach with what's his face piloting it, so that Jeannie doesn't exhaust her resources?
Oh, Ruffian.
Ruffian, yeah. Okay, so you take this. You take Ruffian.
If we're going to do that, we might as well take the sky coach right into the city, as long as the main ship is away from the city.
The colony. It's not a city.
Colony.
It's a small terraforming colony.
Split hairs, Chris.
I would probably leave the ship as far away as possible.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, but having the sky coach nearby would be good for a hasty retreat if necessary.
Is this true, Strat?
Yeah, I do like the idea of having it either just outside the city or even inside the city if we could find
colony. It's a colony. It's a small colony.
So just outside the colony, or just inside the colony if there's like a rooftop or something that we could hover above, so that we have a kind of a high point. Hill, something like that.
So the Star Runner is a quarter mile up, and you're taking the sky coach down with Ruffian. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Down into the city colony.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me Check my notes here. Okay, so you take Ruffian, and Ruffian pilots the Sky Coach, which then expends all of his magical energy for the day, but powers the Sky Coach for that day. So Ruffian pilots the Sky Coach down through the clouds, and you can see the colony complex before you. It looks to be made of steel. All the windows are closed. Emergency lighting is on, and there is equipment in various locations, including land roving vehicles. There are large sliding doors on all the buildings, but they are all closed. You notice a sign that reads "Hadley's Hope." How would you like to proceed?
I'd like to take one of the land vehicles and load it up to take with us.
The sign says "Hadley's Hope," and what I described to you, that's all you see. Like the emergency lighting, there's no movement, there's no activity. Everything is basically shut down, from what you can tell.
Is it dark and stormy on the colony area?
It's still raining. It's still raining, and everything is wet.
You know how long it takes for my fur to dry?
A really long time.
So Ruffian just kind of starts to do a slow circle of everything, and that's pretty much what you see.
It looks like there's a way into the building from the roof.
Nothing that is intended for that purpose. There are air ducts. It has an air duct system in it, but there's no doors or roof access or anything that you can see.
This is why we should bring grenades. And no sign of our missing ship.
Let's see. You do actually. Would that be open? You do actually see one large bay, basically, that has a small supply ship sort of docked in it. It's not covered. It's sort of like a horseshoe shape, and that's where the ship is, and it's inside there, and it's sort of similar to the Sky Coach in that it's bigger than the Sky Coach, but it has no top to it. It basically carries all the supplies underneath the deck in what I would describe as a medium-sized ship. So something, not as big as a Star, but definitely bigger than the Sky Coach. And it's kind of sitting there in that little dock area.
Well, it seems to me that if we're hired to figure out what happened to the ship, we should probably start there.
Okay. So you asked Ruffian to go over to the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems like a decent plan.
So
Arvine agreed with me. Right, let's do something else.
Stranger things have happened.
Mark your calendars, everyone.
Fur. It's a good thing that he has fur.
So it looks like the ship has been emptied of its cargo. And there is a very large set of double doors that's closed that gives access further into the colony, which you think was probably used to load and unload all of the different all the different supplies. And there's, a small land roving vehicle nearby. There is, there's one of those bipedal loaders that has two big claws on it that are used to move around crates and things, which is just kind of sitting dormant. And but you find nothing else. You find no people.
Roughly how big was the city colony?
You mean number of people, or just surface area?
Just the area. How much area did it cover? Was it an easy walk around? Was it most of the day to get from one end to the other?
No. It would. I mean, in the Sky Coach, it would only take you maybe 5 minutes to circle the entire colony. So, I mean, on foot, I mean, you figure it's approximately, we'll say like 3/4 of a mile across.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines.
Is the ship?
Okay, so no, the colony,
Okay.
the city colony.
Yeah. The colony's not quite a mile across.
Okay, so not that big. All right, then yeah, Strax would probably ignore the land vehicle then, not thinking that he'd need it. Although I'm going to mentally mark to pick one up later. It'll look useful.
I mean, there are a number of them around. I mean, they're bigger than the Sky Coach, but there are some around.
All right.
They basically have to just picking notes, but some of the equipment that you see here is designed to work in a place that has no atmosphere, up until the point where they have the atmosphere functioning. So a lot of them have like enclosed environments. So they're like larger with 4 wheels, and then there's like a cabin that's enclosed. So they could use those sorts of things before the atmosphere processor was actually set up and running.
Sounds even more useful. But first things first, we're hired to find the crew, so let's see if we can find the crew. And seems to me the most logical place would be the dock.
Okay. The place where you're in.
Yeah. You said the big double doors.
There's big double doors. They're closed, just like all the windows, all the shutters, the steel shutters, and all the doors. They're all closed. But yes, there's a set of double doors right in front of you.
Then I'm gonna go and see if I can get those doors open.
Okay. Why don't you make a investigation check with advantage for your artifice?
Investigation. 19.
19. Okay. So there is still, basically the place seems to be on emergency power, which, I mean, you kind of figured that because the emergency lighting was on. But you do basically find a way to kind of like hotwire the door, and you hear it unlock, and it opens about halfway. So there's basically about a 10-foot space, and then the door stops.
Good enough. Gets us inside.
Yeah.
All right. Well, weapons ready. We don't know what happened here. Let's see.
Do things look disheveled, or like stuff was abandoned like really quickly?
Good question. Good question. Like
as you move inside, I can answer that question for you as you move inside.
Okay.
So give me just a second here.
Sure. Irene would probably help take up the lead to both as a melee fighter and to perceptify things.
Good idea. You take point.
Okay. So as you make your way into the complex,
SDL1 will be up front with her.
Sure. Steel Defender. Yep. So you do see things like half-eaten food and cups partially filled with liquid. You find some makeshift barricades in some of the hallways, but they appear to have been broken through. You find a couple places where it looks like acid has eaten through the floor, as well as the floors directly below those spots. You find a med lab that has 4 glass cylinders full of liquid that seem to contain strange creatures with 8 legs, a long tail, and 2 vaguely rectangular membranes near the base of the tail. And 2 of the creatures are moving. The other 2 are not.
Oh boy.
I'm not up on my creature lore, but
Did you encounter anything like this in your studies, or Matisse? Anything?
Can I memory of 1,000 lifetimes?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
So Matisse, our female Diva Paladin, casts her awareness back in time, and you see that there was a person brought into this room with one of those creatures on their face, with the 8 legs wrapping around the head, and the 2 like membranes were allowing the creature to breathe, and the tail was wrapped around the person's throat, and they tried to remove the creature from the face of this person, and a liquid poured out of the creature that you would assume is blood, but it basically burned the person to death, and they died, and then they put the creature into one of the cylinders.
What would you say?
It looks like we're dealing with an alien life form that is, I would call it very malevolent in terms of intent.
Well, what did you see?
I saw a kind of spider-like creature that was attached to an individual's face, and it looked like it was, I would say, hugging the face in very, very, very particular type of manner, and it was wrapped around its neck.
Like erotically?
No, like asphyxiation type of wrapped around its neck.
Like erotic asphyxiation? No.
Oh my God, John! Seriously?
Stop watching so much anime.
Now that I've lost my train of thought here.
Did the creature look like the ones in the test tubes here, Missy's?
Yes, that's what it is, Greg.
Yes, they did, and it looks like when they tried to remove it, the person met a very grisly death by the creature's blood. That it was what we see the melty things from. It's like an acid
acidic
situation.
blood.
Yes. So
it cuts through metal quite nice. I wonder if I could use it in a forge.
So we better be careful because we don't know where these things are.
We really want to leave these things alive that are in the test tubes here.
Let's not go picking a fight till we have to, huh?
I would say that we should not touch
And I'm the one
them.
saying that. Holy crap. When did I become the voice of reason?
We shouldn't touch them because we really don't know a whole lot about them. So we are opening up ourselves to a whole lot of trouble if we mess with something we don't know what it is.
Arvine, you do find a medical report on the table on one of the sort of lab tables, and it says surgically. It reads surgically removed before embryo implantation. Subject Marichek John J. died during the procedure.
For embryo implantation. Okay, I point that out to their group. That's weird.
Oh.
I wonder if this is referring to the same thing you described, Matisse.
You know what? Maybe we should kill them. No point in leaving embryo implantation behind us.
No. Do your worst, Strax.
All right. Well, they're in the jars. I'm gonna open fire.
What are you excuse me, stupid cold. What are you using to shoot at it with?
Actually, you know what? Don't shoot it. I'm still carrying my halberd, which is unfortunately not magical. Actually, no. These things eat metal. You wouldn't use the halberd. No, I'm just gonna shoot it.
Shoot it with?
Shoot it with my crossbow and its magical piercing bolts.
Okay, so take a shot at one of the canisters.
Can I take time to aim for advantage?
I mean, it doesn't really move.
It doesn't really move.
It's in a test tube.
That's okay. Good enough. AC hits AC 24.
24.
Oh, sorry, no, 28.
28. Okay. So the bolt hits the glass and basically shatters it, and the stuff goes like all over the floor, and the creature falls down and skitters under a table, and you can hear it running around in the room.
What, it didn't hit the creature?
No, you didn't hit the creature. You smashed the glass, and the thing hit the ground.
Shoot it!
And it's like skittering around on the floor. You're not sure where it is, so I need to see how many of you are there that are not mechanical. There's 4 of you.
4 of us not mechanical.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it moves extremely fast, and it comes shooting out from underneath the table, and it tries to latch onto Arvine's face. So I need Arvine to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, heck no.
Hey, this is your fault for not stopping me.
Irene was worried about leaving things like that alive too. So, all right, a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Barf. Okay, that's pretty good. Plus 5, so 23.
23. Okay. So the creature leaps at Arvine and tries to latch onto her face, and she like ducks and moves out of the way, and it kind of smashes up against the wall and hits the ground. And then we can roll initiative at this point, and and then see if you can kill this hugger of faces.
I don't want to roll initiative.
Hugger of booze.
Yeah. I don't want to jinx myself, but dice are doing quite nice so far.
All right, Strax.
I'm not just jinx myself. 21.
21. And Janie.
15.
15 for Janie. And Arvine.
25.
Ooh.
25 for Arvine. And Matisse.
I roll a
19.
19.
I roll a 20 for initiative, and you still beat me.
So the initiative order is Arvine, Strax, Matisse, Janie, and Hugger of Faces.
Sorry, say it again. I apologize. I've got baby attention here.
You're first.
Arvine, Strax, Matisse, Janie, and then the creature. So you tell me what you want to do, Arvine. You're up at the top of the round. Asimar, fighter, rogue.
Okay. She tries to rush it where it bounced into the wall and see if she can catch it with some laser sword swings.
Sure, go for it.
There's my D8. Oh, wow. That's not spectacular. AC 12?
12, miss. You hit on the wall, and it's jumping around and bouncing, and it's hard to hit.
She swings again with the same hand.
That's my little girl. Squealing.
So that'll be for AC 28.
28 hits.
On the second swing, and she's base to base with it, so she's going to throw that sneak attack on there.
Okay.
It's 2d6. Ooh, dices. I don't know. 8, 7, 13 plus, oh jeez, this doesn't work. So, okay, so plus 6, 13, so that'll be 19 magical force damage.
Okay.
19 magical force damage, okay. So you smash it with the laser sword, and you kill it, and all this green liquid sprays out onto you.
Oh, no.
Oh boy. I get to make a dex save.
No, you take you take 12 acid damage.
Oh,
combat is definitely over because Arvine had killed it. So there's 2 dead in the 3 remaining containers, and there's 1 that is still alive.
Well.
Did we burn it?
maybe somebody with
We do
something more
something
pokey can just
that doesn't
dab
break
down
the
in the
glass
container.
and set it free. I mean,
Or freeze it.
Now, maybe somebody with something more pokey, like, I don't know, an energy sword, can
laser
just,
swords.
like, open up the top and stab. So it's not running around all over the place.
Could magic missile it.
Strax,
whatever's precise.
what is your passive artifice, Strax? Make a let me see. What would that be?
You can always go generic intelligence or investigation.
Yeah, just make an intelligence check for me.
Or you can always go with like a tool proficiency or something. Investigation?
Just intelligence. Intelligence check. Just roll and add your intelligence mod.
16.
16. Okay. So the thought occurs to you that if you look at the containment module that it's in, that there may be some sort of a mechanism designed to terminate whatever is inside the canister. If you want to make, then do investigation with advantage because of your artifice. 22. Okay. So you do indeed find such a thing. There is a sequence that you can figure out that will first of all drain the liquid that is inside of it. There is also another sequence you can put in that will remove all the oxygen from inside of it as well. There is another mechanism which essentially sort of shunts it to a disposal unit, which doesn't specifically kill it, but there is basically a sort of waste removal function of that canister. Assuming that you've killed whatever's inside of it, it can be shunted to basically the garbage. So you tell me what you want to do based on that information.
Well, I'm thinking this liquid probably helps contain it, and I don't want to shunt it while it's still alive in case it gets away. So, Ixnay the oxygenate.
Ixnay the oxygen, okay. So you put in the sequence, and you see a little a little graphic that shows the oxygen being drained away. And once it reaches 0, the creature still seems to be moving.
It could be that it's still in the liquid, or it could just be that they don't need oxygen. Yeah, this was a planet that was terraformed. If these things were there before it was terraformed.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. These things don't need oxygen, so...
That is very unusual.
It is very unusual. But, well, it's what we got to deal with. All right, then let's...
I'd have Janie ready magic missile. Have Janie ready magic missile and take the lid off. Yeah.
Okay, so weapons at the ready, you drain the liquid. The creature basically settles at the bottom, and it's not doing much, but it seems to still be alive. It's a tricky bugger.
Well, can we have somebody ready and attack for taking the lid off the container? So we do something more controlled.
I have an idea.
Breaking the glass.
I'm going to cast my moonbeam on it.
You cast a moonbeam on the canister?
Yes.
Very high power spell for okay.
Hey, if it can kill it without getting it out, without having to let it out of the container, I'm all for it.
So Matisse calls in the divine power of Maheen, and this moonbeam appears around the canister, almost like it's being transported away, but that's not what's happening. That's kind of what it looks like. And like the creature inside starts to like squeal and jump around inside the canister, like it's trying to get away, like it's in pain. And basically, over the course of a round, maybe 2, it takes enough damage that it dies, and there's like acid all inside the bottom of this canister, and it starts to burn through, and the glass starts to break. But the creature does appear to be dead. It destroys the containment module because of the acid blood, but the creature is dead because of the moonbeam.
Yes. Take that, you little bastard. Bastard.
I mean, over the next like 60 seconds, that acid like burns big troughs like through that entire structure and down to the floor, and it's really very potent stuff.
If I make an active search around the lab, are there any other like notes, notebooks, documentation, logs from
medical
the planet?
Supplies?
Anything else medical supplies? Anything else that I can find?
There are some basically like, first aid kits and things of that nature. There are logs that talk more about the subject that they had and the findings on the creatures, and basically talked about that they weren't sure, but they assumed that they did not breathe oxygen. They did not need oxygen to live, but they were still.
Oh, we found out.
Yeah. They weren't really sure. They were still trying to figure out what these things were. Obviously, they had two of them that were alive. They were still studying them. There isn't a lot of other information there. You do find an adrenaline shot there, though.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
I think GH88 still got his. So I don't know if somebody else wants to hang on to it just to.
Isn't anyone concerned of what's been going on here and the fact that these creatures, that they were experimenting on them, and we really don't know what the results of those experiments are?
So as all of you are talking in the med lab, Arvine, your passive perception picks up the sound of something coming from a hallway outside of the med lab.
Okay.
Sound of possible
I kind of
movement, maybe.
turn to everybody and do like the hush sign and kind of really silently mouth like someone outside. So you kind of, I think I already have my swords drawn, but I kind of take up position like inside the door, duck back against the wall. Or is there spaces where we could hide in there?
In the med lab?
Like countertops, like benches, stuff like that. Like type benches or tables.
There's 6 of you, okay. And one of you is like well over 6 feet. One of you is a hobgoblin. Maybe SDO1 could hide behind one of the workstations in there. Maybe.
I was actually just about to send SDO1 out to investigate.
Okay, Arvine will stand at the ready by the door if you want to go that way.
So will Matisse.
So, what is it that you're directing SDO1 to do? Like how would it be communicating things to you? Are you sending it out there to
technical with me, boy?
Sending it out there to hear it go, yelp!
You don't want to get the acids on
with
it.
a camera. If I knew what one was.
Right, there you go.
Make SDO1 do a drone.
Like an anal probe? Is that
Whoa.
Why'd you have to go there, Greg?
You go to butts already.
What is that about?
That's us. I'm not really surprised, but there's the preview.
We can't send. Sending SDO1 out wouldn't help much, except as a first line of attack.
Now we can wait and see.
Nothing to it but to go look.
Well,
take a quick peek. It's not like
just be careful. We don't know what dangers are around.
Hey, worst case scenario, we lead them back in here, and the rest of you can ambush them.
So what's happening?
I'm just going to take a quick peek.
Okay. So you look outside into the hallway near the med bay, and you think you see a small humanoid figure dart across the hallway and into an air duct.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I might have actually found a survivor. Sucks to be them.
Well, a small humanoid figure.
Shakes her head at you, Strax, and she peeks around into the hallway. Where did you see this figure go?
She kind of darted over that way, pointing the direction that it went. Whatever it went.
Well, something tells me we're going to partake in a game of cat and mouse, and it's probably not going to be good for us.
So there is an obvious air vent where Strax indicated.
Okay.
All right.
Arvine might very sneakily try to go over and peek into the vent to see what she can see.
Okay.
I motion for the rest of us to kind of take watchful positions on either side.
Okay. All right. Arvine, make a perception check for me.
Is better than my passive. I keep trying to use that. Mouse button. 27.
27. Okay. So you can definitely hear some movement coming from. The air duct goes down maybe 15 feet, and then you think it opens up into a larger space, and excuse me. You can definitely hear something moving around. And you think that you see with that perception check, you think you see some reflections off of things, something maybe made of glass. You think that you see what could possibly be a stuffed animal, and it's a little far away. It's kind of dark, but there's still some light, some ambient light from the emergency lighting.
With the stuffed animal, do I start to think based on Strax's description that I'm seeing a child, or?
You don't know. It could be.
Okay. I'm turning to the others. I think whatever it is has a stuffed animal.
That's not very useful.
Well, if you think you see a stuffed animal, why don't we try calling out and seeing if someone responds?
Kind of really quiet, whisper shout down the duct and say, "Hello, is there someone there? We're here to help."
You see a dirty-faced blonde young girl poke her head into the end of the air vent, and she's only there for a moment. She looks really scared, and then she moves away from it, and you hear a lot of shuffling around and moving and things.
I guess I would. I'm the smallest in the party, so is it okay if I come in there?
You don't hear anything, and you start to hear the rattling of some metal. Sort of there's an opening on the air duct. There's an opening where you're at right now, and you have to kind of lift up the air duct on a hinge.
Yep. And
you think you can hear another one of those being moved from the end of the passage. From that space back there.
Alright. Well, I guess Arvine would try to go through the duct and see if she can't catch up to the figure before it leaves, but she's probably going to miss it.
Okay.
She's going to be trying to be quiet while she does this, but...
Arvine, no one goes anywhere by themselves.
I could.
What is Arvine doing?
She's going to turn to the others. I want to go into the duct and see if we can find this figure.
Well, I'm not going to fit in there. Don't go too far, huh?
I think it's a kid. I'm only going to go a few feet. You said it's not very long, right, Chris? Maybe 15 feet?
15 feet, yeah.
Okay, so I said it's not very far away. I could put a light on, but I'm more worried about something bad seeing the light.
Just don't do what you usually do and rush headlong into something dangerous, huh?
I understand.
So you start to hear movement coming from the air ducts, and sounds like it's starting to get further away.
Okay. So I would go in and try to see if I can't find whatever it is. I've got dark vision, so I should be able to see pretty well.
Okay. So you get down to the end. And you see there's a couple other ways to get out of basically this one chamber that's about 6 foot square. And you can hear noise coming from the one on the far side.
Okay, so if I go to that one on the far side, that's still like within 15 feet of where I came in, or is that further away?
It's 6 feet across from where you came in.
Okay. All right, so I'll check the side that has the noise.
Okay. I mean, you can hear like clomp, 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 like you can hear like somebody's moving in the air vent.
Okay. So I checked this. Was it like a closed off space, or did it just sound like something ran further away?
The sound is getting further and further away.
Okay. And I'm going to shake my head and come back out because I don't want to go too far from the party. I mean, is it a duct where even the bigger members of the party could fit, or is it only like Arvine/child sized?
Yeah, it's. I mean, Matthias could not fit in there.
Okay.
Strax could move at like half speed through there.
Okay.
Strax doesn't want to move at half speed through there.
I go back out and say, I think she ran up, and I point whatever direction I heard her going, or whatever it was.
Well,
you said I saw a dirty-faced girl, right? So
yes,
I tell the others it's definitely a little girl. It's like a little human girl with blonde hair, and she ran off that way. I'd really like to try to find her.
Well, nuts to her then. She ran off. We got a crew to find.
How do you know she wasn't part of the crew?
I think it's probably unlikely. And until I know otherwise, we probably ought to find someone who is actually obviously part of the crew that we're here to find.
We could try to move in the direction
Arvine.
that we think she's going based on the vents.
I mean, we have to explore the whole place anyway, so that would be my vote, Jamie. I agree with that.
If you were to act quickly, you could follow the noise and follow her. If you wait much longer, she's going to be completely gone somewhere in this complex.
Okay. Arvine says
she may lead us to actual other adults, so I say we follow her.
Okay. You want to come with me?
It's a good direction as any, as far as I'm concerned.
So, okay, so
Let's
try to follow her.
Less talk, more action. Let's go.
Okay. So, you can basically go through the hallways, and you can hear, like it's kind of faint at first, but you're able to follow it, and then you hear it louder and louder, and eventually it comes up to sort of like an operations center. There's lots of consoles where you think they control the shutters. And they control various power systems throughout the colony, throughout the atmosphere processors and the facilities and whatnot. And as you're approaching that area, and you can hear the thumping in the air ducts, and then you hear another one of those metal grates move, and you think you hear the sound of little feet inside that room.
Pitter patter, pitter patter.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean.
Right, so we haven't actually entered in this ops room. We're just kind of standing outside it, okay?
Yeah, you're basically at the doorway, and
okay.
You're pretty sure that she is in this room.
Hey, Janie, maybe you could talk to her.
Peek around the door and see what I can see. Stealthfully.
Make a stealth check and a perception check.
Okay, the glitter is the stealth, and the fire is the perception. Okay, so stealth, it's going to be a 15. Perception's going to be a 21.
So, the perception with both listening and seeing, you kind of get a bead on a general area in the room where you think she is, which is like the far right corner. And in the emergency lighting, you kind of see like some movement from like behind like a little work table, a little workstation that is more away from the wall, but still over in that corner. So you're pretty sure you have a bead on where she is. If you want to try to move toward her quietly, then we'll use your stealth check to see how well you do as far as trying to close in on her.
Well, I can't see her, so I can't try to reach out to her telepathically. So I guess I'll try to walk towards her.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy?
Yeah, because I think I have to be able to see that person to use that. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, any creature I can see within 120 feet. So if I can't see her, then I can't get in her brain.
Gotcha.
Before you go through the doorway, Arvine puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of mouths the words of, "Do you want light?" Yes,
I think that'll scare her more.
Okay.
I say into her head because I can see her.
All right, so you're gonna
think back. Tell her we have food.
tell her we have Crossroads cookies.
I should get Crossroads to sponsor us. A dozen cookies for every adventure, and we'll mention you in every episode. Knights of Roleplay. Runs on Crossroads.
Free advertising. So you're trying to move over in that direction?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you get most of the way over there, kind of like walking slowly, trying not to like knock anything off the consoles or whatever. And she peeks her head out and sees you. And then she starts to make a beeline for another one of the air ducts. You think you could probably catch her if you tried.
You can see her now.
Yeah, you can see her.
Okay, if I can see her now, I'm going to both lunge for her and say at the same time in her head, wait, we don't mean harm.
Okay.
It deserves a charisma check at least.
So she's kind of shocked at hearing your voice in her head. It surprises her, and she hesitates for a moment, giving you advantage on a acrobatics or athletics. Grapple. To initiate a grapple, you make an athletics check. So you have advantage on an athletics check to try to grab her.
Okay.
If you fail to grab, well, I don't know. Kids can be pretty wiry.
Well, I have a +0 to athletics, so it's going to be an 11.
An 11. Okay. Well, that is an opposed roll, so here we go.
She's a little girl, so she's not too strong.
Okay, so she opens up the grate, but you manage to get there just in time, and she sort of changes gears and just backs up into like a corner, sort of like underneath one of the consoles, where like a chair would roll under. She kind of gets under there, and she's just kind of there. She looks very scared.
Okay, I'm gonna keep trying to talk to her in her mind because it seemed to have at least gotten her attention.
It did.
And I'm gonna say, my friends and I mean you no harm. We just got here. We're here to help. We don't know what happened, but we killed something terrible in the other room. In the lab? Yeah, in the med lab, yep. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. She says in kind of like a really soft whispery voice, she says, the monsters are going to come.
Okay, which monsters? You can talk back to me if you don't want to talk. Just think it.
I can think it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm magic.
Okay, she seems kind of curious about that, and she kind of like you see her eyes kind of squinting, like she's trying to really focus on thinking, like really hard. And
it's really loud in your head.
She says, "How did you get here?"
We came here on our spaceship. We were told that you needed help.
The monsters keep taking everybody to the processing station.
What monsters?
They're weird alien creatures. They have long heads and dark skin and like tubes on their backs and long tails, and they grab people and they bring them over to the processing station.
Is anyone else here, or are you alone?
I don't know. I saw somebody being taken to the processing station earlier today. Maybe there's more people around hiding like me.
Do you know where the aliens came from?
Well, my dad was brought back with something on his face. We were exploring in a rover and found a alien ship, and my mom and dad went to look, and my dad got something on his face, and they brought him back, and I'm not really sure what happened, but my dad died, and there was some kind of monster that they were trying to find, and they closed all the doors and the windows, and people started to disappear, and I started to see the monsters, and there was more and more monsters, and people were being grabbed and taken away, and some tried to fight, and some were killed, and I don't know what happened to my mom or my brother Timmy. And she starts to get all emotional, and she's having a hard time.
Janie moves closer to her and tries to give her a hug and says, I'm so sorry, honey. I know what it's like to lose your family. I'm so sorry. This had to have been so hard on you.
Okay, she timidly accepts the hug, and she, it comes part way out of the little spot that she's in, and kind of takes a hug and then wipes a tear away, and she seems to be calmer.
Would you like to meet my friends? I think that we can help you. We want to keep you safe and see if we can save whoever's left here.
The monsters, she's speaking to you verbally now, and she says, the monsters are going to take you and your friends too. They'll take everyone.
Well, we'll just have to kill them first.
Don't mind my brother. He's a little weird.
Whatever. If it looks like Janie has her under control from Strax's perspective,
Strax would think so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and head into the room, and I'm going to start looking at the ops consoles, see if I can gather some information.
Okay. Do some investigating.
With advantage?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Arvine will help you.
Arvine can help, yeah.
I'm gonna...
do I want the 9 or do I want the 9?
9.
So total 14.
14. Okay, I mean, you can see that's a lot of the basic operations. Again, you can see how to turn the shutters on and off. You can see how to open some of the doors. There's controls for the lights, but you don't think they're powered at the moment because there's just emergency lighting only. There is communications here, but they're not operating at the moment.
Naturally.
You basically find what you would expect to find in sort of the center of operations for this terraforming colony.
Can I get a map?
Yes, you can call up a map and put it on a display.
Good, I do that, so we at least know where we are and where we need to go.
Okay.
What is your
Go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to say, what is your name, little girl?
My name is Newt.
Hi, Newt. My name is Matisse.
It's nice to meet you.
Can you show us on this map where you've seen these creatures? Where you say the processing plant is?
Yeah, she goes over and she looks at it and she studies it for a minute. Because you can tell that she's not used to looking at the map. But in her little child brain, she's trying to put together what she's seen with her eyes and what she's looking at the map. And she kind of starts running her finger like over different areas of the map, starting at the operations center where we are right now. And she follows this line, and she the whole map is not represented in this one visual. So she looks at you, Strax, and she says, can you move the map over? And you can easily do that.
Yeah, all right.
So basically, Strax sort of helps scroll the map over as she follows with her finger, and she shows you where the processing plant is.
Well, I have three thoughts on this matter. One, we can assume there's no survivors and head out. Two, we can see this processing plant and where they're taking them to, see if there's anybody to rescue, but I have very low hopes for that. Because of three, if that's where they're taking people, that's probably where survivors will not be. And we should probably investigate other places, but this place is kind of big, so...
Strax, you know as well as I do that we can't let those things live.
Oh, hey, I'm up for a good fight.
I mean, we don't know if what they're doing to the people that they're taking.
Acid blood is not a good sign.
Well, that's
all I'm saying.
I don't disagree. Arvine kind of crouches down by Newt and says, "Hi, Newt. My name is Arvine," and then I offer her some rations.
Okay. She eagerly gobbles them down.
Okay. And then I ask, "Do you know of anything in this colony that might help us to fight the monsters?"
The grown-ups tried to put up barricades. They did not hold for very long. They tried to use welding torches, I think they're called, and pipes and other things and wrenches, but they were not able to stop them. And some of them were hurt, but then their blood burned the people, and I couldn't watch. Lots of yelling and fighting and screaming.
Well, we're trained fighters, so if we have to fight them, we can fight them.
She says, "It won't make any difference."
Newt, can you guess how many people are on this colony? Do you know?
I think maybe a couple hundred, maybe.
No, okay. That's kind of concerning if we have a couple hundred people that we can't find.
Yeah. Well, if we can't get out there to find them, we're gonna have to see if there are any other survivors. We'll just have to come to us. Wonder if there's any way to send out like a message or something, or any one of these panels.
Well, how far are we
Might be a
from the
bit meta,
processing plants?
Based on what Newt showed you on the map, you could move through the complex and you could get there in like 10 minutes.
So it's fairly close.
We could scout them out and see if we could get a scoop on what these monsters are, and maybe devise a plan for how to take them out.
I got a better idea. This might be a little bit too meta, your call on that, Chris, but I think that Strax might try to find like a PA system, but I'm kind of torn in my mind as to whether or not Strax would even know or recognize what a PA system is.
I would say that based on the information that you've gleaned so far, by all your investigating inside this complex, that you were able to recognize and identify that there is an intercom system. I mean, like most things, it doesn't have really any power, but you know what it is, and if you could get power to it somehow, you could probably figure out how to use it.
All right. Well, since everybody here tends to get mad at me when I don't actually tell them what I'm thinking, I don't know why.
I don't mind. I
have
already
great
know.
ideas. Next question.
Yeah.
How wide are the corridors out to the processing plant according to the map?
They are 10 feet wide corridors.
10 feet wide corridors. How wide are those vehicles that we saw out there?
Those vehicles are like the size of the Sky Coach.
Oh, the ground vehicles?
They be too big.
Yeah.
They're big things. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's about. Okay, that's not going to work then. Okay. No smaller vehicles. That sucks.
There are
We need
some
a car.
There are some smaller vehicles that are like a one-person vehicle that like you put some boxes or some crates on or something, and then you can sort of drive it, through the hallway. But it's like a one-person vehicle. Maybe if it didn't have any load on it, you can maybe have like one person controlling it and two people standing on it. I mean, you don't know how fast it goes or how maneuverable it is, but they're just little like little. It's almost like the equivalent of like a science fiction hand truck, kind of.
Yeah,
but just a little bit bigger.
I can visualize what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, it's just designed for moving equipment around.
Correct.
I don't know how much time we have to work with, because I could probably take one of those and rig up like a trailer onto something.
Gatling gun? No.
Yeah.
Is it night or is it day? Do we know that?
Currently, it is nighttime. You think it's approaching maybe 10 o'clock, maybe.
Okay, so dark and stormy.
Yeah, it's still raining outside.
All the horror tropes.
Well,
there's no lightning. Actually, there's lightning probably way up in the clouds somewhere. But
hey, kid, can you know if these monsters understand common?
I didn't try to talk with them.
Yeah. All right. Well. Probably best to assume they can. All right. Because I was gonna try to see if I could make an announcement to tell any survivors to head over to the what do you call that? Where you put the stupid ship?
The shuttle bay.
Hangar.
Hangar.
Brain fart. Tell any survivors to head over to the hangar, but if they can understand what I'm saying, well, that kind of defeats the purpose.
Think about
It'll
this.
be like a monster buffet.
We have to assume that these creatures, whatever they are intelligent to a certain extent. And maybe if we go on the PA system, we might alert them.
Yeah. Well, first things first, we got to get rid of our liability. So whatever you should take, we should take Newt back to the ship at least.
She says, "What's a liability?"
Do you know how to shoot a gun?
No.
Shit.
I'll teach you later.
Put her in the bag holding.
Well, you could do that.
Give her 10 minutes.
You might traumatize her a little bit, though. Putting her inside a bag in the dark.
And we could take
Should
her
be
back
safer
to...
than out here.
Only for 10 minutes, then she'd suffocate.
Take her out every 10 minutes.
We could take her back
For breath air.
to the Sky Coach.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
go
That's
let her
an
hang out
interesting
with
question.
Ruffian.
Could
Sure.
we use a portable atmosphere to overcome that 10-minute limitation?
That's a good question. Can we put her in the
Hey,
rope
kid,
trick?
get in the sack.
Put her
Boy,
in the rope trick?
that sounds like a open invitation there. Putting someone
that
in the
sounds
sack.
like a pedophile.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
really.
Ew, let's not go there.
I wasn't starting it.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, let's just set that idea aside for the
Aside.
moment.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we could take her back to the Sky Coach. I mean, if we're going to investigate the processing plant, is there a better angle to approach that from above anyway? Or do we need to go through the station because we want to sweep through and see what else we can find?
Well, first of all, Arvine, we do have to consider that maybe, since we don't know what these things are, that maybe she could be a carrier of some kind also, and probably we don't want her to be on our ship.
Well, I think Ruffian would be okay, but
Construct, after all.
Was there anything that we found in the science lab that would indicate how to tell if someone is a carrier?
Let's see. They had like an X-ray
Yeah.
that showed a creature inside someone's chest, like some kind of an embryo inside someone's chest.
So
we can find.
I mentioned that to Strax and say if we
device that
can
made
use that
that.
device in the lab to check her, then we would know she's okay. Then I'd rather get her to safety and consider the fact that we could probably, I don't know, wage more surveillance and attack from the air and be less vulnerable to getting taken
But
by
more
these
visible.
creatures.
Well, but if they can't get up to us, we can just simply rain hellfire on them from above. I like that idea.
Can we, though? We don't really have any weapons on the Star Coach, do we?
I look at
I
Janie
got a
and kind of
crossbow
raise an
right here.
eyebrow.
Sky Coach.
Look at that.
Well,
Whatever.
remember everyone,
Your butt coach.
Say, Janie, you are our weapon.
we were sent here to find out if people were alive, so we do need to find if there are actually living individuals here.
Well, unfortunately, the processing plant seems the place to start if anybody's actually alive.
Yeah.
But I still would like to find some way to get a message out to any other survivors. And this squawky box here seems to be about the best
The
option.
longer we stand here and stare at each other, the more likely we're going to get eaten by whatever those space
I
thingies
would
are.
say
So
that
let's go.
I'm all
Let's
for
go back to
getting on it. Let's
go back to the lab and make sure that Newt is okay.
Right, Newt?
And then make our plan.
Newt.
I would say that Strax should try to jury-rig the PA system, and maybe we can herd the people who are still alive to a certain specific spot.
Well, as I say, I could just make an announcement and tell people to go there, but I don't know if that's going to direct their so-called monsters there either. I guess we could set up an ambush. That would be fun.
So
That is
Strax, with regard to Arvine's suggestion, you don't think that machine has power? Like right now, there are emergency lights. There is basically a very basic blueprint monitor,
Yeah.
and those are the only things that have power that you've seen so far.
Okay, well, two
Strax,
options.
can you find a way to get the power online?
Well, that's one thing I was thinking of. The other, I might be able
So-
to cherry rig some power. I mean,
so-
I can only assume they shut the power off for a reason.
So in actuality, we're really in dim light and not even like bright enough that we could see in front of us.
Yeah, it's all.
Well, it's emergency lighting, so it is dim. It is dim light, but you can see, like on the other side of this room, you can see dim light because there are dim lights on the ceiling all over the place.
Okay, so they're like my little outdoor lights, like basically giving a touch of light, but not bright
Correct.
enough to see everything.
Correct.
Well,
but it's enough that you can walk through the hallways and things like that. So,
all right. Well, I'm gonna head back to the ops room then and see what I can find. Okay.
So you're in the operations room. Okay.
Okay. So, question number 1: Can I turn on power to just the med bay?
You look at the display, the map that you have there, and based on your artifice and like flows of magic and whatnot, it's not all that dissimilar to the way that this physical power is set up, and you follow some of like basically what you think are like the power lines, and they all seem to converge on this one place that you assume is basically the source of the power for the colony.
Okay, so I can't actually turn on the power from the ops room.
Correct.
I have to go to wherever this place is. All right.
I mean, normally the opposite place has control over power stuff, but because this stuff isn't powered, you can't turn it on.
Right.
The source of the power seems to be inert for some reason.
All right. Well, I guess I'll head back.
Well, Strax, you're a technical guy. Why would the power source not work properly?
Maybe I'll blow it up for all I know. Not until I get there. Unless we go there and look, if you think it's worth the trouble.
Well, it might answer some questions.
It would take you about 5 minutes to get to the power station if you wanted to go there.
Well,
is it anywhere near the processing station?
It's sort of on the way to the processing station.
Well, I still say we take the kid back to the
Sky Coach
first. Yeah, back to the Sky Coach. Back to the ship first and see. At least so she's not in the way in case we run into some more of these monsters.
I'm just gonna put a post-it on the corner of my screen that says Sky Coach.
Right.
Space Coach, Star Coach.
Space Coach.
The Great Space
Coaster.
We can worry about it later.
The Great Space Coaster.
Sky Coach, coast to coast.
Get on board the Great Space Coaster. That used to be a kids' show back in the day.
I barely remember that.
Wow.
Some of our listeners will not get those references.
You're old.
Well, I do happen to turn 49 this week, so...
49?
Oh, it's like 1 foot in the grave, Greg.
No.
Says Chris, who's how old?
When you're younger than Greg. I have a toe. I have a toe in the grave. Greg gets a whole leg.
A leg and a toe.
The youngest one here.
By a couple months.
And the baby.
Baby's technically the
Baby.
All right, all of us, ship.
Anyway.
So you're bringing Newt to the Sky Coach?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop her off at the Sky Coach, and then we'll see if we can head to the
power
room.
Okay. So you drop off with Ruffian, and you go to the power station. And as you're approaching the power station, you can see that basically it's like wrecked. It's like destroyed. It's like all ripped apart, and like a variety of different areas. It's been all torn apart.
Well, Matisse, I think I found the answer to your question. Do you want me to explain?
No. I believe I have.
Do we have anything
to, visualize?
Do we have anything that could be used as a power supply for anything on a smaller scale?
Or can I jury rig something?
Let's see. You guys, you have laser swords. You have laser rifles, or at least one, and you have I think Jenny has a laser pistol.
Yeah.
All of which are powered by an energy cell.
Right.
So with some tinkering, Strax, you think that it's possible that maybe you could use one or more energy cells to maybe power something small, like maybe the X-ray machine.
Yeah.
You don't really know for sure. This is all theory, but you think you might be able to figure it out if you were to try.
I could try to see if I can get some power to the med bay. But...
Yeah. It may also exhaust the energy cells, and then you wouldn't have power for whatever device that is that you were using. But again, you're not really sure. You've never tried this before. You don't know what it would do.
I don't know how long it would last either.
Right. I mean, the energy cells, just to be clear, because you guys probably don't know this, but I designed them. The energy cells power like a laser pistol or laser rifle or laser sword. They power them basically for the life of the of whatever it's in. And those things typically, like, you could actually figure it out. You could actually give it a number, but most people don't bother because it lasts so long that the thing would probably get destroyed or you'd be dead by the time it would run out of energy.
So they're powerful.
They're not necessarily powerful, but they're just long lasting. They can give like a small amount of energy, like just enough to power something for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but I don't know how much energy this is going to drain out of it.
Correct.
I'm essentially going to have to destroy whatever weapon
maybe
I need.
Maybe. Again, you would have to tinker.
I'd have to tinker.
You'd have to tinker. You'd have to try to figure it out.
Do I think that I could power the X-ray machine with one of these cells from the med bay, or do I have to do it from here?
You think that if you were to go to the operations center, that you could attempt to use one or more energy cells to power the X-ray machine. You would have to basically be in the room with the X-ray machine, and you could bring the energy cells to the med bay and try it there. You could bring the energy cells to the operations center and try the intercom.
Okay.
You don't have to be at the power station to do it.
Okay. That was my concern. Was I going to have to stay here while they go to the med bay in order to?
No, you would be like hooking up a battery, to the X-ray machine, essentially.
Okay. Well, we're not getting anything out of here. I guess we can, if you're still concerned about it, we can go get the kid. We can bring her back to the med bay, and I'll see if I can power up the X-ray machine from there. Just gotta get annoyed with all this back and forth. Whatever, that's our problem.
That sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so what's happening?
So we're gonna go collect Newt again, and we're all gonna tropes back to the med bay, and I'm gonna see if I can use one of the power cells to power up the X-ray machine.
Okay, so when you go back to the Sky Coach, you see that Ruffian is laying on the ground next to the Sky Coach, and Newt is gone.
Oh no!
Ruffian, why don't you just take off?
Is he awake? Conscious?
Ruffian appears to be unconscious, but he is alive. I was going to say breathing, but he doesn't breathe. Ruffian is a warforged, so he is unconscious but alive, because that can happen in D&D.
Okay.
Do we have a way of accessing his memories? Can we see what happened?
Oh, he's not
he's an NPC. Can I wake him up?
You can stabilize him. You can cast healing on him.
I could do
I still
that.
have healing
hands for like 5 points.
I can heal him. Hold on.
You just gotta wake him up.
I'll lay on hands.
Okay.
For 5 points, just to
I'll
get
lay
him
on
For
feet.
5 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruffian comes to consciousness with five hit points. Yeah. And
Ruffian, what are you doing down here?
sits up in the mud, and then stands up in the mud. Obviously has battle damage.
And I gently nudge Janie and say, "Can you find out from him what happened?" He doesn't speak.
Right. Hey, what happened?
You can speak. You can speak. So he
I know. That's what what happened.
I wasn't there on that.
I was saying it in my regular voice, so it's not Janie. It's my mind. What happened?
Okay, so Ruffian is able to basically think to you that the creatures that Newt described came and took her.
Oh,
and
God.
and at first they basically ignored him because he's like a machine, and they didn't pay any attention to him. But he tried to stop them, and when he tried to stop them, they basically beat the crap out of him. And then once he was no longer moving, they continued to take her away. Well, actually, the way he described it is that he saw them taking her away. He tried to stop them, and then things went black. That's what he remembers. But at first they were ignoring him because they thought he was just like a piece of machinery.
Should have told them to
at least
hover off the
we know
ground.
where they're taking her. All right. So much for the X-ray machine.
We're going
we better
processing.
Hurry up.
Yeah, we better get out of here before we need more.
I mean,
of those
do we
things
think
No,
that
we
can,
better hurry up and save her, you dumbass.
show up.
Do you
Why?
think we can
Not our
make it up?
I
problem.
promised her we'd keep her safe. Let's go.
Can we approach
You
the
made a
power
promise.
station from the sky, or this processing station?
If you want to get in the sky coach and go over there, sure.
I think
Get
that's
faster to
better.
fly.
It's better than going through the colony and risking getting jumped somewhere where we don't want to be.
All right. If we saw did we see another entrance over there? I guess is the question in the area.
We
On
can
the
check it.
Um,
Let's fly around.
you would probably have to basically jury another one of those doors to get it to open.
Just
But
a random
that doesn't
side
take
note.
long.
One of my dogs just barked so loud, I heard it from the other room. And continue.
Hashtag toddler dogs.
Well, if we saw that there was a
Hashtag
door over
giant
there, the
dog.
processing plant, I can open the door. So, all right,
Well,
get
let's
in the
fly
ship.
over
Let's
to the
go.
processing plant. Yeah.
Okay, so you fly over in the sky coach over to the processing plant, and you go down and give me another
Those vehicles.
give me another investigation check with advantage on the door.
Okay. Can I use my thieves' tools?
Sure.
That's good, because that gives me double proficiency.
Yeah.
That is a good thing I needed it, because I had to choose a 7 or a 7.
Otherwise
hate
known
you
as
tonight, man.
expertise.
So, for investigation, it's fine.
It's not a high difficulty because you've already done this.
16.
Okay, that's good enough. The door opens up about 10 feet.
Okay. All right. SDO1, big point.
Okay. So you go inside the processing plant, processing station. So basically, there's nothing of interest on the ground level, but there are numerous sub-levels below. So do you keep moving? Do you start moving down into the sub-levels? Is the question.
Quick perception check. Maybe Irvine,
I'll
other than-
perceptify. Anyone want to help me?
I'll help.
Thank you.
What is it you're perceptifying?
Looking for danger.
Signs of life, anything that I could hear coming from the lower levels or certain quadrants of the facility.
Signs
Stuff
of,
like that.
signs
Anything
of,
see a sign of which
Any
direction.
devices we could use, machines we
We
could. Well,
saw
there's
the
no power,
sign.
but yeah. Okay.
Open the
Signs of
fire.
menace.
So
Sign.
perceptify.
Perceptify.
Oh wow, a 5 and an 8.
Oh,
So yeah, my passive of 20 is better.
Your passive of 20 is better.
Yep.
Okay, so there's really nothing to speak of as far as noise goes. I mean, again, the place is shut down. There's no power, so there's nothing really to hear.
No sign
Almost
of
like
any-
to as much. I want to save survivors, but I'd also like to figure out if there's a way to take this whole facility or this building down.
Probably
If
don't
These
have.
creatures are powerful enough that they've secreted away 200 people. That they've defeated Ruffian, who is a total slouch when it comes to combat.
Well, hey, I'm all for blowing the place up, but we may not get paid if we do that first.
I mean, I'd like to see if we can find survivors first, but just food for thought. So.
All right, well, let's head down then.
Okay.
Can I make a What is the word? Okay, now I probably would suck at a survival check to look for signs of these creatures passing.
Given the fact that the ground is all metal grating, I think it'd be. I mean, you could look for signs. You might find something, but you wouldn't find like footprints. but you could try to look if you wanted to look. You could try if you want to make a survival check.
At least I'll keep my eye open.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do good. 17. Actually, no, 15.
15. Nothing really jumps out at you.
Okay. Well, then let's go.
Okay. So, as you make your way into the sublevels, you find, countless passages and walkways on each level as you go down. Upon reaching sublevel 3, the temperature becomes very warm and the air is very humid. And as you're exploring, you eventually come to an area of sublevel 3 with like a strange substance covering the walls and the ceilings, and the floor a little bit in some places. It looks like some kind of like a hardened excretion. It almost, it seems obviously like it was something that was like built up from maybe some kind of excretion or something, and then it like hardens over time. It's sort of dripping with some like mucus and things like that. But there's definitely a intentional construction of some kind. It seems very hive-like.
Oh, but I'll get that in my fur. It'll take forever to get out. And then I'll blame you, Arvine.
Are there any signs of like humanoid shapes in this covering?
Right now,
meta at all.
Right now, you're just sort of at the edge of it. Did you want to keep moving forward into the area with the excretions?
I think that would be a bad idea.
But is there a way that we can go that's not that way? Because if it's the only way, then
you've explored about maybe like a third of sublevel 3, and now you've basically hit this area. And basically, from what you're assuming that beyond this point, everything is covered by this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Matisse, if we want to find the survivors, I don't know that we have a choice.
Wrong, Matisse.
We also have to think of the fact that we don't even know what this stuff is, and we don't know what's in there. Proceed with caution.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. We know that there are monsters.
If SDO1 starts to melt, then we'll worry about it.
We know
Let's
what
go.
they look like. I mean, we could investigate Is there anything you can investigate in the substance before we proceed further, Strax?
It's a wall. It's messy. Let's go.
Arvine kind of side eyes towards Janie and shakes her head. Follows along.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you continue to explore the sublevel in this area, and Arvine, with your very high passive perception, you see movement from something in the corner of your vision.
Okay.
And you dart your eyes over in that direction, and you're pretty sure that you see a person hanging on the wall. Their arms and legs are covered by the excretion. Their head is hung low, but you can see the head just kind of slightly move a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna motion to the others and say, I think there's someone down there. I don't know if they're dead or not. We should go check. So.
Oh no, from here.
Go check closer.
Okay. I mean, when you get close enough, it's obvious that it's a woman. It's a human female.
Okay. I check her throat. Is she alive?
She opens up her eyes, and she's like very panicked, and she's covered in mucus, and she says, "Please, kill me." And then suddenly she begins convulsing. Her chest cavity expands violently, like something inside is trying to break out.
Uh-oh.
The expansion happens again and again as you hear the sound
That's
of
not good.
bone cracking. A creature's head bursts from the woman's chest, killing her. The creature has a smooth head with no discernible eyes and a mouth of sharp teeth. It's trying to free itself from the chest cavity of the dead woman. So what do you do?
Can Arvine try
I cast
to
magic
Put it in
missile.
the bag.
Can Arvine lop the head off of the creature as it's starting to come out?
So Janie casts magic missile and it goes and it hits the creature with multiple. I assume use a first level.
Yeah.
Okay. And basically it squeals as it's getting hit by the magic missiles, and the creature definitely dies from the magic missiles. And then
Good reaction there, Jenny.
you hear this sound from all around you, like the slow hissing of an animal. You begin to hear the sounds of movement from various passages all around you. You are quickly set upon from all directions by a group of strange alien creatures. They are mostly humanoid with 2 arms and 2 legs, but their heads are long and narrow with no discernible eyes. Their torso has 4 tubes coming out of the back, and the creatures have long barbed tails. Let's rock and roll initiative.
I think we can assume.
But
no
we're going
survivors.
to do this fight next time, though.
Oh no!
Okay.
Are we rolling initiative now or next time?
We won't remember it. Till next time.
Yeah, why don't we just do it next time? But if you guys want to, though, you are all 13th level, so you can roll. You can roll hit points right now if you want to roll hit points, and we can do that, and then we can say goodnight to the listeners.
Okay.
See,
Just wanna roll
this
hit
is
points.
exactly what Matisse was afraid of.
So when we do the next adventure, when that combat starts, you'll have all of your 13th level stuff. Okay, you don't have to take a long rest to get it, so you're just going to have it.
Okay.
I hope I have good stuff at level 13.
So for the listeners, if they don't know already, I basically allow people to, when they roll their hit points, if they get less than the average of the die, and the average of the die is half the die plus 1. That's the average according to D&D. If they roll less than the average, then they get the average.
I rolled max. Yay!
Yay!
So John rolled max.
I rolled exactly average again.
All right, so I have a
what number did you get,
D10.
John?
I got an 8.
An 8. Okay, and Janie?
Average.
4.
4.
Is it a D10 or a D8?
I think paladins get D10. I think.
Okay.
It'll tell you when you manage hit points. It'll say 13D whatever on your hit dice
Ugh.
in D&D Beyond. They don't.
And just whatever you roll, add it to your.
All right, so I rolled the minimum. I rolled 3.
Okay,
What's
so
your
then
Right, but go ahead, Kirsten.
your die is a D10, right?
Yeah.
So you get the average, which is half plus 1, so you get 6 plus your con.
Yeah. Well, if you just add 6 to your rolled hit points,
Yeah.
Okay.
D&D Beyond will take care of all the necessary bonuses.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha,
So I
gotcha.
have
Arvine, what do you roll?
Ooh, I get to add a spell.
I rolled a D8 for another level of rogue. I rolled a 2, so I took my average of 5.
Okay.
Hey guys, I just
Cool.
broke into 7th level spell slots.
Okay,
Nice. 7th level slots are. A lot of them go boom.
I'm gonna have to get out another D4 for my magic missiles.
I gotta tell you, I was very excited to run this adventure.
I wonder why.
Shocking.
Aliens is one of my favorite movies.
I like
is.
it too, actually.
Okay, so let's say goodnight to the listeners.
Alrighty.
Good night, listeners. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review anywhere this podcast can be found. Our social media links, plus additional content, can be found on our website at knightsofroleplay.com. Please tell your friends about Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast, and spread the word through social media. Your help and support are greatly appreciated.